Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Thank you for joining me today, I really do appreciate it. So this is today's look. I've done it with the More in a Mouthy palette, which you'll see. So this is my Shop My Stash. Feels like forever. It feels like forever since I last did a Shop My Stash. I think it's been 5 weeks. By the time you see this, it'll probably be more like 6 weeks. So yeah, let's just get into it now. So yeah, let's just get into my Shop My Stash. I'll show you all the products I've been using, and then we'll put them back and we'll pick out new products. Okay, so let's go into these bottom drawers first. So these are pretty much all my face products that I've been using. So this Steeler highlighter, I was almost sure that this was going to go into the declutter when I did the declutter. Excuse my throat. So this one is the Heaven's Hue highlighter in the shade Kitten. Show you what that looks like. So I am wearing this today, and it does look pretty dark in the pan, but it really isn't. And it's one of those like soft putty highlighters, do you know, like the Colourpop ones. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that. I really enjoyed using it. I used it a few times this past month. Okay, so the bronzer I was using, I use this all month as well. So this is the Revolution Mega Bronzer in 01 Cool and a hit pan. All this is the progress I've used this month. There was no pan showing last month. If you go to my Shop My Stash for last month, you'll see that there was no pan at all. It definitely looked like the pan was coming up, like you can see even around here. It definitely looks like it wouldn't take much more to actually make more progress on it, but I want to use different bronzers, so I'm happy with the progress since it wasn't a bronzer that I wanted to pan. So yeah, we'll work on that in future projects, no doubt. Then we've got this Kiko blusher, which is the Desert Dunes Trio in 03 Impulsive Mauve. It's absolutely stunning. I think I'm going to try and keep it in. I really didn't use that much, probably once or twice, so I could put it back in the collection. But I want to use it a little bit more than that because it's an older blush. I just want to get to use it a little bit more. The problem is I pulled way too many blushes in, so yeah, I think I'm going to pull a palette in this time and try and not pull so many blushes in, but some of these I really do want to keep in as well, so we're definitely keeping this one in. Then we've got the Benefit Krista, which is a lovely pink blush. I mean, just look at that. That is just absolutely beautiful. But I've got another pink blush that I want to bring in, so I feel like I'm going to put this one back. Then we've got this Shop Miss A one. This one was beautiful as well. This one was in the shade Rose Dawn. I really enjoyed using it. I only used it a few times, just like with the Benefit one, just because, again, I pulled too much. Right, so I pulled both of these Barry M Fresh Face liquid blushes out. I used them once or twice. I didn't get much use out of them. So we've got Peach Glow and Summer Rose. Part of me feels like I should keep them in, but then part of me just feels like pull them out at different times. So yeah, let's put them back. This one will stay in. I don't think I use that at all. This is part of my project pan, so this is the shade Tainted Love, so that stays in anyway. I think I only used this, I used this as a bronzer. I think I only used it once. I'm going to put it back because there's another cream bronzer that I want to pull out. This Patrick Ta Joe I used quite a few times. So this one is in the shade Do We Know Her. So mainly I use this when I use the More in a Mouthy palette, which you'll see in a second. And I've got it on today as well. Really, really love this. My friend Karen bought it for me a couple of years ago now, so I do need to work on it, work on the fact that I don't want it to go bad. Obviously it's got a cream in there, but I don't think I'm going to pull it. I don't know what eyeshadow palettes I'm going to be using though, that's the problem. I need to figure out what eyeshadow palettes I'm using first, and then we can work on the blushes, but I think I'm going to put this one back. I also use this Shop Miss A highlighter I love a lot. So this one is in the shade Brunch Date. For a $1.25 highlighter, what's that, how much? No, $1.55 highlighter, This is really, really good, guys. I would highly recommend it. Right, so for this one, I did actually think this would be going in a declutter as well. I didn't think it would suit my skin tone. The only way I can carry this off is if I don't wear a bronzer. So then it's like a bronzer blush hybrid, and it looks so beautiful on my skin. Let me show you what it looks like inside. The shade is Out of Sight. And can you see how I thought it might be too dark for me? Because it is a very, very dark shade, but it seems to work for me. It's really, really nice. It's almost like that terracotta shade, isn't it? So yeah, that will be going back in the collection. Then I've got this Revolution blush here. So this is in Rose Kiss. I feel like I want to leave this in because I really don't know how I feel about it. I only used it once and it's fairly new to the collection. When I say it's fairly new to the collection, I bought it before my no buy and I just forgot about it. Then I've got this Clinique Cheek Pop Pearl Blush 02 Topaz Pop. Naomi bought me this, and this was a really nice warm blush as well. I also used this blusher when I used the Amore and Amalfi palette. Just look beautiful. It's such a stunning blush. So yeah, it's going back in the collection now. Right, I really don't know about this. I might keep it out for one more rotation. I absolutely love this blusher. So it's the Dior Rosy Glow in 001 Pink. Yeah, let's keep it out for another rotation. It's only small. This is Project Pan highlighter, and then we've got a Project Pan powder. So we're just keeping a few things in. All this is going to go back in the collection, so let me just find a basket for that. Right, so that's all the products that are going back. Just turn it that way so we can get into these drawers here. I feel like all this is like Project Pan. Actually no, there's this eyeshadow I used. I had to go somewhere quick. Oh, I think it was when I had to enroll on my course. So let me show you what it looks like. So it's the Too Faced Couture. This is so old. I mean, I've never known them to do singles. So it's in the shade Socialite. I will keep it. It did look really, really pretty. I do just need to use it more, I think. Okay, so this Becca Under Eye Corrector needs to go back. I pulled this and I forgot to pull a concealer last time, so I've been kind of lost without my concealers. So if I put this back, I will make sure that I pull a concealer. I used it all month without a concealer, and I know if you use an under eye corrector you don't really need to conceal. This is a really good one, and I know Becca no longer exists, but other companies do it. Lottie London do it. I think NYX do one. I think NYX have brought new ones out in stick format. So yeah, I do really like that. I think this is, yeah, these are products that I use on the daily, so I don't really need to go into too much detail there. Oh yeah, we've got some eyeliners. So these Made by Mitchell eyeliners I pulled out because I was doing pastel eye looks. So this one is the All Smudge No Budge Wonderful World. That one can go back. Then we've got, I think this is La La Land. Yeah, La La Land. That one can go back. This one can go back as well, the 24/7 Glide On in Vice. So I just pull eyeliners out as and when, and these are kind of Project Pans. This one is an unofficial Project Pan, so I don't know whether to keep that in. That one down there is a Project Pan, and then this one I've just left in to use, like I rotate between that and that. So in that part there is a Becca backlighting primer or whatever it's called. I feel like I'm not really going to pull a primer out. I want to use this one up because I've got 4 new ones that I bought, and I've got another one coming, so that'll be 5 of that particular primer. And then maybe next month we can pull out a different primer, or if I do use it all up, I will just pull out like a pore smoothing primer, but it won't be this one again. I want to change from it because obviously this is the 2nd month that I've rotated it in. So we've got also this lip oil as well, which I've been forgetting to use, to be honest. So yeah, that's all essentials there. Right, then we've got this drawer here, eyeshadow palette. So let's talk about eyeshadow palettes first. We've got a mixture of everything, just basically stuff that wouldn't fit in that drawer there. Right, so I don't want to talk too much about it, the palettes I mean, is because, you know, I'll be doing reviews on them, and I'll talk more about them then, and I'll show the looks that I created. But yeah, I mean, I did really enjoy this one. You know, I love pastels for this time of year. So that's that, and that's what the beautiful palette looks like. It's a Colourpop Lost in Wonderland. So next was Saints, Angels, Sinners Cosmetics Earth Baby palette, and I'm showing them to you in order I use them. I mean, this is such a stunning palette. I need to show you the other palette. I'll show you the other palette in a second. I've actually done an update on that. It's my Build Your Own palette with my Makeup Geek eyeshadows in it. So because this all had shimmers in it, I use that one with it. So obviously you can't just use this by itself. Well, you could. I mean, makeup's very subjective, isn't it? But me personally do like mattes in the crease and then shimmers on the lids. But yeah, that's what that one looks like. And then I've got this one that I was using all week. So the BH Cosmetics More in a Malfit. People have loved this palette on me. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was more an autumnal palette. I don't feel like it is. It's got the oranges, the yellows, which are definitely more summer. And then the two rows at the top. Yeah, there could be more autumn, winter, but I feel like you can get away with them in the summer as well. That top row, I've used all them today on my eyelids. So that's what you were seeing at the beginning of the video. Then, what did I use yesterday? I feel like I used, oh yeah, I used the bottom row yesterday, and that just created the most beautiful yellow gold look. That grotto shade, those kind of shades on me, they just look absolutely stunning. So that's all three palettes I used in this Shop My Stash. Right, and then I think I've just got foundations up there that I need to take out. Yeah, because everything else in there is Project Pan, I think. I might be wrong. So what I did is, I did the haul, didn't I, where I showed you that I bought this from Superdrug for £5. So it's the Uma and Sharon C Flawless IRL, and I mainly bought it to go with this Uma foundation, and I'm wearing both of them together, only a little bit of this though, so it does work. I don't really want to declutter it. If I'm only using a bit, like, do I need to keep it around? Like, because I've got so many foundations, haven't I, you know? I'll keep it around for now, and then I'll like use these together in conjunction with one another, but I also like that by itself. So the shade differences are, this one is White Pearl T2, and then this one is Fair Lady T2C. And at the time when I bought this one, it said it was a lighter shade. Well, it's way darker than that one. Anyway, I'm going to keep those, and now it's time to go through the collection. Excuse the noise coming from upstairs, guys. They're really starting to piss me off. Right, what do I want? A skin tint or a foundation? I actually pulled this one not so long ago, so, well, about, not last month before, so that needs to go back. Anyway, I'm just wondering if I should pull a foundation plus a skin tint, because sometimes I get bored. Let's have a look at the skin tints first. I feel like I should test this. This is really old. I feel like I should test it and then make a decision whether I want to keep or declutter. So that's that. No, actually, this one, because it feels like it's getting to the point where I need to use it up. So let's do that. Then maybe just pull one like from here as well. Do that one. Catrice True Skin. Definitely need a concealer, don't we, because I forgot to pull one last time. We'll do this one. Literally, once I've done this, and you can see there's not much left, I've only got 2 left. So I will need to buy a backup of a concealer at some point. Probably the NYX one. I'm just wondering if I should pull this as well, because I'm sure the Catrice True Skin is a little bit too dark for me. And yeah, I think I'll pull this out as well. So this is the Porcelain 01. Actually, I'll leave it in the drawer and I can just use it as and when, because I feel like that's too many foundations. Let's just put these clips on this side. Right, so I don't need any glowy products because I've got some. I'm using some up. Right, this Fenty powder needs to go back, so I wanted to pull this Laura Geller powder foundation out as well. I've been using it and I've been really enjoying it. So let's use that. So we've got 3 foundations now then. We don't need any primers. Look at all those primers that I bought from Primark, and I'm waiting for one more to come in. I wish I could tell the person that I ordered that primer just to give me a refund, because it's been near enough a week in getting to me. From the point of it being posted, it's been a week, so I'd say that's lost anyway. See, I've got this NYX. It's not NYX, but I've got this in the little pot there. It's my Revolution peach powder, but it's too dark to go under the eyes, so normally I like to go in with a lighter one. That even looks like it. Is that too dark? Let me have a look. Let me open it up. Yeah, that was too dark as well, so I'm gonna pull this one out. This Collection Hydra Setting Powder with hyaluronic acid. I do actually want to get the foundation for this, but as you can see, I've just got way too many at the moment, so I think that's all the base covered. So yeah, let's move on to the next. Let's actually move on to eyeshadows, and then we can figure out what blushes we want, can't we? So I do know for a fact that I want to pull the Colourpop Snow White palette, so let me just get that. Right, so that's what it looks like. Dreams come true. It's really, really pretty. I've been wanting to use this for a while. I got this back in November. Then I want to use this Love in London. I'll show you what they look like once I pulled the 3rd palette, and then I want to pull a pastel palette. So let me just go and get the pastel palette that I'm thinking of. Then the pastel palette is this Makeup Obsession Crystal Waves palette. Let me show you what they look like. I'll start with this one first. Right, so in this one, some of them look chunky, so it's a case of me just testing it out and then seeing if I want to keep or declutter. I feel like I'm going to declutter it, because especially on that 2nd row down, can you see how chunky they look? Okay, so we're going to be using that. If I don't like the way the shimmers perform, I'll either pair it with another pastel palette, or I'll use my Natasha Denona palettes for that week. See, each palette I normally use for a week, and then I make a decision whether I want to keep, declutter, pass on, whatever the case may be. But I've had this a while and I just feel like it might not perform well. Then we've got the BH Cosmetics Love in London. I really loved the Amore in Amalfi, so I'm looking forward to using this. And yeah, it's a lot of neutral tones, but it's got cooler tones in it as well, so definitely gonna really enjoy using it. I've not used it in a very long time. I feel like especially that 3rd row down will create a lot of looks like I've already done with the Amore in Amalfi, so I might not even attempt that row. I might just use the other shades. I don't know what happened then. It recorded everything apart from this beautiful Colourpop Star of the Show Snow White palette. So this is what that one looks like. It's absolutely stunning. I would say it's more warm toned, so we're probably going to need a lot of warmer toned blushes today. So yeah, and that's what she looks like. Absolutely stunning, like Snow White does look like. You know, she's absolutely beautiful, isn't she? So anyway, let's go into my collection and pull some blushes out, highlighters. I'll probably pull out a face palette as well. I'll see when I get there. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so we're in these are my powder blushes. I've changed everything around, so if it looks different, that's why, since last time. So powder blushes and cream blushes. This one's new from Naomi, so I definitely want to use that one. We've got bronzers down here, so let's pull this out. So this is from Space NK in the UK, so you'll get to see that in a second. If you've watched that haul, you'll know what it is anyway. Just trying to think, shall I pull one of these out? I don't think I've used these About Face. Karen bought me one, and so did Desi. So we've got Quickie, and what was that one of Karen? Cowgirl. No, that one's off Desi, Cowgirl, and I think that's really orange toned, which I feel like I'll need for the palettes this go around. Let me just look at it. Yeah, you can see I've not really used it. I've swatched it at the top there. So let's pull this. We'll need a powder for over the top of that. Why am I looking there? That's not where my powders are. This one's an orange toned one by Odin's Eye. Which shade is this? Warm Sun. That's the one off Desi, I'm almost sure as well, so we'll pull that. I think that's all I want to pull because I want to do a face palette as well. I think if I decide not to do a face palette, then I'll come back. And also we've got some blushes already in from last go around. I want to pull this as well, see if I like it still. So the Elf Putty Blush, what shade is it? It's not one of the dewy ones. I do want to get one of them. This one's in the shade Bahamas. Right, I don't know whether to pull a bronzer from here or just get a face palette with everything in. Like my Benefit ones that I've created myself have everything in, so I might do that. Let me just go and have a look. Right, so we've got this one, which is nice for this time of year, and it's got like a glowy bronze, which I'm really into at the moment. So that could be a potential. And then there's this one. I feel like I should swap some stuff out because I would really like to Rocketeer. I feel like that one that I feel like I'm so close to panning, I feel like that should go in that palette there. Let's put both these on my desk. Okay, so highlighters, we'll be needing a few of these because there is one highlighter in the palette, but not a lot. I feel like I want to pull this Rare Beauty highlighter that Lisa bought for me. This one's in the shade Mesmerize. I also feel like I want to pull this LYS one that Desi got for me, and also this Colourpop one that she got for me, because I don't know if they're the right tones for me. I feel like they're a bit dark. Is that it for highlighters? Let's do this one, because again, I don't know if I want to keep or declutter it. I know most of it's panned on this side here, but I feel like it's way too dark. This is in the shade Delicate Dew. So a lot of things here that I don't know if I want to keep or declutter, but I need to have an idea in my mind so I can just declutter them when it comes to that time. I want to do it in a couple of months' time, I think. So that's everything from there, I think. Right, and then I want to pull out a cream bronzer. This e.l.f. one. I've only got 3 cream bronzers. I've got this e.l.f. one, a Makeup Revolution one, and it's not a cream bronzer, but I use it as a cream bronzer. That Concealer by 17. So we're going to use this. What shade is this in again? Not used this in ages, and I can't see the shade. I can't see the shade of it, but it's one of the lightest that you can get. So yeah, we'll do that, and I think that's everything. And then next time I won't pull the face palette out, I'll go through these here. I'll pull this out as well because I don't like, normally I use it as a bronzer, but it can be a hybrid product like the Colourpop one was last month. So I'll pull that out as well. I mean, we are using these products for a month. So I'll show you all these products that aren't open so you can see what they look like. Maybe even do some swatches. Let's go over to the desk now and pop things away. Right, I'm not sure what you can see and what you can't see because I've put you on my tripod that I normally do my TikToks on, but I'm hoping you can see quite a bit. I'm going to hold things up anyway, so you should be able to see them. Shall we do some swatches? I don't always do them. I don't know how long this video is. Yeah, you can see that fine, can't you? So this is the e.l.f. What shade is it? Oh, Tan Lines. Look, you can see, sorry. Shall I turn this light down a bit? Yeah, you can see that I've used it a lot. I've not used it in a while though. This is definitely a nice bronzer for me. So yeah, looking forward to getting reacquainted with that again, should I say. If you can't see the swatches properly, what I'll do at the end is I'll show you, because now I feel like it's too dark. So highlighters, Desi got me these, and this one is It's the LYS Aim High Pressed Highlighter Powder in the shade Brave. And as you can see, it just looks too dark. Just looks too dark. But it might be alright blended in. And it looks quite glittery too. So that's that. I might have to declutter that, I might have to pass it on, which would be a shame because that's the only LYS product I've got. And then there's another one which is the same, which is this Colourpop one. This one is in the shade Lantern Fest, and that looks like that. This one I'd probably be able to get away with, it's a lot lighter. So yeah, that's what they look like. I'm trying to put them in the drawer. I'll just put them any old way now, and then we'll sort that out properly at the end. Bronzer can go in. Then we've got these cream blushes. So we've got one by Elf in Bahamas. When I got this, I really didn't like it. I've really not used a lot. It's actually a lot smoother now. It's like a cream to powder. Yeah, so that's that. I'll be interested to see how I feel about that. I feel like that is a similar shade of what I've pulled from the About Face one, but it doesn't matter if it is. Let's see. The About Face. So, the About Face one that Desi got for me in Cowgirl. Oh, it's very emollient. Very emollient. I don't think they're the same shade at all. Very emollient, but very, very sheer. That needs a lot of building up. I think when Karen sent me the shade Quickie though, I was like, oh, you know. Yeah, that's what they look like. They are similar. I don't think I need both of them, but I want to try this About Face one because I've not used it yet. Right, then we've got this Odin's Eye. I can tell you now whether it's the one I bought or whether the one Desi gave to me. I'm sure it's not though. I'm sure mine's Peach Gleam and this is Warm Sun. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. I really feel like you're not seeing a lot. Right, let's swatch this. So this is completely matte. It's what I don't really like from a blush. A completely matte blush. Yeah, I mean, I can use it with the creams. Then we've got another one in here. So in this Space and K bag here, this lovely Space and K bag, this is the one that Naomi got for me. And this is one I'm really looking forward to using. I feel like there's too much blush again this month, but it is what it is, guys. You know, a month is a long time. So it's the Soft Pinch Happy Blusher. I don't feel like I need the box, do I? You know, the box can definitely go. So this comes in like a matte packaging, whereas the highlighters come in. So they come in like a shiny packaging. But isn't that stunning? That is just absolutely out of this world. Stunning. I want you to see it. It's definitely my kind of shade. I think Naomi said that she'd pick this one up as well. So I'm going to keep this little bag because I do feel like they're handy. So I'm going to keep that. I feel like you can put some things in there like to travel with. Yeah, definitely the Shop My Stash is definitely blush heavy this go around. Highlighter. So we've got the highlighter in Mesmerize. Can you see the difference? Like this is shiny whereas the other one wasn't. And Lisa bought me this and there's so much, like I've used it so much, but they are very delicate. You need to be careful with them, guys. There's not too many swatches to do now. I won't be doing lips because I'm doing a lip service project pan, so you'll see that when I do the update for that. Right, we've got this Kiko blusher. It is a blusher. It says Rebel Bouncy 01 Velvet Peach. It doesn't even look like peach. To me, it's a hybrid of a bronzer and a blush. And as you can see, I've hit pan there. I feel like I'd be able to use this when I don't use bronzer. If I'm using bronzer, I'm just going to look a hot muddy mess. It's nice though, it's a nice formula. Right, and then we've got the Pixie by Petra highlighter, which I wish I would have got the other one, but the lighter one. I thought this was a lighter one, but obviously not. I can use this as like a bronze topper, but I just don't. And then this one here is a little bit dark, but I have managed to use it. It's just, I mean, it's a lot lighter than the other two though. Then these two down here, I don't think you can see it. I don't know what you can see, but I'll show you in a second. It's a lot lighter than those. So I should try and use it. It's just like pink toned. Right, now we need to sort out these palettes. See which one I want to use. So we've got this Z palette here. It's got Benefit blushes in it. It's got Tarte blushes in it. It's got a Primark. It's meant to be a highlighter, but I use it as a blush topper. And then it's got that Rocker Chair. I think it's Rocker Chair. Actually, I think it might be Gold Rush. Then it's got that here that I want to try and kind of hit pan on. So if I'm going to do that, then some things need to come out of this one then. Because I think this is the main one I want to use. There's not a lot of room, is there? Like if I take this out, this small thing, I can take that out, but I still don't think it's going to fit in. Which means then I'm probably going to have to use this palette, because I don't want to declutter any of these blushes from here. Sorry, you're not even seeing it. What I'm saying is I don't want to declutter any of these blushes from here, but this small, like, whatever blush it is, I think it's California. Is it though? Oh, I think it's just gonna fit in. There we go. Right, so that's what it's looking like. It's not the most attractive, but I do want to get some more use here. I mean, I could have just pulled this in, to be honest, because it's got like bronzer, it's got a highlight, it's got my summer, like spring summer blushes here and here, with it having a warm tone, that one and that one. So this one here is a Tanya Bear one. Do you remember when she was on YouTube all the time? That was one of her blushes that I pulled out of a palette, and I think that was her bronzer. So I do just want to get more use out of those. So that might mean that I don't get as much use out of the powders, because I want to focus on this. It might mean that I use this for 2 months rather than 1. So that's going in the collection. Not the collection, in the big Shop My Stash drawer at the top. Yeah, it's definitely, like, this Shop My Stash is definitely blush heavy for this go around. Let me show you my arm, because I'm not sure if you're seeing it, so hang on a sec. Okay, so this is everything I swatched. The cream bronzer down there, then the 2 highlighters off Desi, then the 2 like orangey tone blushes that do look similar, but one's definitely darker than the other. Then we've got that Pixie highlighter there. Yeah, we've got a good range of products, definitely. But I mean, at the end of the day, we've got that Bleach London palette as well. This one's going to go back in the collection until next time. I normally pull this one out around autumn time, autumn, winter, because they're a little bit darker, these blushes. So I think that's everything, guys. I just need to show you how the drawers are looking. I mean, it's not looking the best, but I mean, obviously I can't make it look any nicer than it is, I don't think, just because it's packed. You know, maybe I should have pulled the face palette out first and then just pulled a few random bits and pieces out. Can we take anything out? I think this. Take this out, this Kiko blush, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So it's not looking as bad, as bulky, but yeah, I'm interested to at least use everything from here one time and use things from the palette a little bit more than that. So yeah, I'll give you an update next month on how we've done with things. I might actually write things down because I've not been doing that, and I do feel like I want to know how many times I've used everything. But yeah, a very heavy blush Shop My Stash in my opinion. What do you guys think? Have I gone a little bit overkill? What are you loving in your Shop My Stash this go around? I'd love to know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.